Now I would like to invite Mr. Nasib Baksa to come forward.
Distinguished guests, friends, good afternoon. I feel a bit strange because I was invited at a very short notice and I learned very little about the organization before I arrived here. But I think I'm perhaps one of those guests here who probably associate with Mr. Salik's cause much more than people here realized when they invited me here. First of all, I have a difficulty everywhere I go because I spell my name N-A-S-S-E-R, and all the Pakistanis everywhere confuse it with N-A-S-E-E-R. So they always call me Nasir instead of Nasser. So the name is Nasser, not Nasir, but it's common. I face this wherever I go amongst my own friends and colleagues. I've been in this country since 1971, and you know about the minorities issue goes back to my great-grandfather in Srinagar, when in the 19th century he felt a minority under a Hindu Raj, and he felt that the imposition on him not to sacrifice on the occasion of the Eid a cow, which was a tradition within the Muslim community. He felt that was not bearable to him, and he went ahead and sacrificed a cow. And that was a serious crime under the Hindu Raj. And he had to take his small family and escape for his life once he was reported. He went to Jammu, and even then he was reported with the same Raj. And he then migrated to Sialkot, outside of the Raj. So that was the beginning of the minority complex within the long tradition of my family. But what other tradition in my family is that we never had a thinking about ourselves as a minority complex. We always thought as we are one as much as anybody else in the world. We're all individuals, we're not really minorities. Minorities is a political terminology. It is when groups of people come together and gang together and decide that they want to have an advantage, a political advantage, over another group of people. It is not an individual thing. You and I and everyone else are the same. We should have confidence to be same. And wherever we see the political injustice, individuals, one person is enough to stand up. And when one stands up, others join. You mustn't wait for others to start so you can join. You can stand up and others will join. And this is the classic example we are seeing here of Mr. Salik. That he felt something and he stood up. And this happens every time there is injustice in the country or in the world. I've been here as I grew up here, but I was a Muslim here and I was a minority. And when I started to campaign against the minority at the time of the Salman Rushdie affair in 1989, then I really felt the political pressure on minorities here in Britain. For the first time, the Muslims were focused as a minority that need to be looked down. And when the Muslims stood up, the establishment tried to put them down. The media and the politics tried to put them down. And I lived through that. Though I spoke against, but I was powerless. Then in first Gulf War in 1991, the same thing happened. The Muslim voices rose against the establishment. But yet they were minorities, and we felt the political minority happening here. And by that time, there were many people who were my generation of educated here who wanted to do something about it. And many of us went into politics, like myself, because we felt that from within the organization we can change. From outside we can only throw stones. And what we need to do is be part of the country, part of the establishment, part of the system, and integrate and stand up, not on the basis of a minority, but on the basis we're equal. and we progress from within that. But the causes are so great. For the last 20 years, I have been fighting minority rights here in the Liberal Democrats. I've been working with great people like Lord Avebury, fighting causes in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, in Indonesia, in Iraq, and many causes in Palestine. These are causes of minority, majority in all of those places. The independence they struggle for, or self-determination they struggle for. These are all minority cases. And I fought with groups, and the most recent one in Pakistan, the blasphemy, the act of blasphemy, the capital punishment. In those countries, the country where I grew up in and I was born, and I have a great association with, I find it unbearable that Muslims persecute Muslims in the name of Islam. I just find it unbearable. I mean, other minorities, I know, I work with my colleagues in the Lib Dems on the persecution of Christians, Sikh, in Pakistan or Afghanistan, and Shias, Ahmadis. You know, all these persecutions that are going on. And recently, the Human Rights Commission in the Parliament, led by Lord Avebury, have sent delegations to Pakistan, the government. And the election time, our friend Baroness Nicholson went for Europe to supervise, to make sure that the minorities had fair opportunity to take part in elections and vote in elections. And I was getting calls from there that the minister, interior minister, was saying one thing, but practically on the ground the things were quite different. And people could not vote because of the persecution of certain minorities at government level. So I associate with your campaign and your feelings about what, and that is happening here. And as a previous speaker said, the UK is a great place to start movements. And it is a place where Pakistan movement started all that time ago. It's a place where, you know, many movements that have happened around the world, independence around the world, have started here. So I feel honored to be here, to be part of this organization. I'd like to join this organization and support whatever I can do in London. I am grateful for J.Salik and your organization to invite me here. I'm the local parliamentary candidate here, fighting campaigns all over the place. But this is now a marginal seat, and Sadiq Khan's days have been numbered here. So we are enjoying the campaign. I was delighted to get a deviation from there, from the kind of meetings that I've been going to and doorstep and media, and to come to something like this, which is quite honourable and quite something that touches me. And I'm sure that it touches you. And I hope that everybody here, you know, join and take membership and give your time, not for yourself, but for the people who are suffering. Because we are fortunate here that we can stand up. And Britain is a great place where it allows minorities to reach up to their potential. And there is a great place for us to take the campaigns forward. So I hope that you are able to complement the campaign and run the campaign and be part of that and give it the strength that it needs. Sometimes, you know, your time and money is very important for such campaigns to make it strong. There are many people who can give time, but they can't give money. But the money is also a key part of this sort of campaign. And I hope that great people here consider those things and do whatever you can to help this organization. And I hope soon this organization, you know, will have the importance around the political circuit where it needs to be. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting me.